So the deep six muscles are the deepest muscles of the hip or the gluteal region. There are 6 of them, as the name suggests, and the more anatomical name for those muscles is the lateral rotators of the hip, because all of them are laterally rotating the hip, so that's what they would do. And we know some of them already more intimately because we work with one of them in basic Swedish, and then we will talk about the others. So all of them will attach at the greater trochanter. That will be their insertion point. So from somewhere around here, they will all insert into the greater trochanter somewhere. Now, the one that will be the most superior is the piriformis. That one is the one on the very top. It's the one that we can really feel. It's the one that we can work with the most. So that is the one that we can really palpate. The lowest one, or the most inferior one, will be the quadratus femoris. Those are the only muscles that we can really, truly palpate. We can feel them engage. So those 2 muscles we can really work with. The other ones, the 4 other ones, they're kind of deep. We cannot really isolate them and work with them individually. So the piriformis, we know that one, we talked about that one already because of sciatica problems. So that's where the sciatic nerve goes, either under it or sometimes through it. And there were actually cases when it went on top of it as well. So it just depends. I saw a picture of 6 different ways how the sciatic nerve goes through the gluteal region. Uh-huh. And then so the sciatic nerve comes out of the spine between the L4 and L5, and then kind of goes through here all the way down. So some people can experience it all the way in the foot, some people in the calf, some people can experience it as a pain in the back of the thigh.
What is it exactly? It's when the nerve isn't flowing correctly?
It's when, there are many ways what can happen. Basically, anything that you feel like a tingling numbness means that the nerve has been restricted in some way. So it can be restricted by the muscle being too tight. It can be restricted by the by the vertebrae because they pinch it, or it can be something that is completely neurological. So something that can be in the conductivity coming from brain and just kind of how the body works. So if it's done by the muscle, that's when we can help with it. If it's caused by, I don't know, that the vertebrae are not aligned very well or something other in the body, we cannot really help people with their sciatic problem. But majority of people have the sciatic problem because of their tight piriformis, and that's something that we can work with. So the piriformis is the one that when you look at the slim, that's when we do the letter T. So we kind of look at the coccyx, PSIS, and we look where's the greater trochanter, and then it originates on the sacrum, comes down, and then inserts into the greater trochanter. So the T, kind of the shaft of the T, or the base of the T, will be the direction of the piriformis. That's the one that we can actually feel. That's the one when we did all kinds of stretches. That's the one when we did the frog leg for. We did kind of this stretch. We can work with this muscle pretty well. When it comes to quadratus femoris, again, it's a muscle that will be deep. It's like kind of right under here, where is the gluteal fold. So you have to put your fingers right under the gluteus maximus and kind of pushed upwards. That's where you will encounter the quadratus femoris. It's a short muscle. It's not a really big one.
Is the ischial tuberosity underneath that?
The ischial tuberosity, it kind of goes around all the muscles, all the other deep six muscles, they will go around the ischial tuberosity, so around here, this area, and then connecting into the greater trochanter. So that one in particular is kind of like right in here, so it's very close to like when you sit down, that it would be like right in here. Sometimes you can feel it gets really, really tight. Right in there. So that one we can also palpate, we can feel that one. And if you want anything when you do stretches for the lateral rotators, which was one of those when we had person prone on the table, we bend their knee, we kind of put our fist into their buttocks, and then we move the feet towards us, and we kind of the fulcrum kind of thing. That would be stretching those muscles pretty well because they are you're doing medial rotation of the hip, and therefore you're stretching all the lateral rotators. The other 4 are not so easily accessible because they're very small. We have 2 gemellus muscles and 2 obturator muscles. So as I was saying, the 2 gemellus muscles, they're kind of hard to see it right in here. Yeah.
The Gemini ones?
Yeah, those are like the Gemini ones, and they're kind of deep. So if you want to see them individually on the page 329, it will be easier because they're really small. So you have the gemellus superior and gemellus inferior, and as I said, if you put them next to each other, they would look kind of like the sign for the Geminis. So those like, or Roman number 2. So those are the 2 gemellus muscles. And then you have the 2 obturators. The one goes actually also because they go around the obturator foramen, the whole around here, but still it's around this area, and then they do attach at the greater trochanter. So then you have one that is the obturator internus and then the obturator externus. However, as I said, you cannot palpate them individually as muscles. You have to take them as a group. And so any exercise that you would do around the greater trochanter and around between the ischial tuberosity and the femur, that would be something that would be helpful for your clients. Stretching, putting your elbow right in here, kind of going right in there like this, all of that would help. So basically, lateral rotators, we have 6 of them. 2 of them are easy to palpate and easier to find, which will be the piriformis and the quadratus femoris. The other 4 are kind of deep. We cannot really feel them as individual muscles, but we can feel them as a group. There are 2 gemellus muscles, the gemellus inferior and superior, and then we have the 2 obturator, internus, externus. All of them will be attached to the greater tubercle, and they have a different points of origin, where the piriformis is the only one that originates on the sacrum. The other ones around the ischial obturator area, and then coming and insert into the greater trochanter.
The greater tubercle?
Greater trochanter.
Trochanter.
Yes. This big ball right in here. Any questions on that one?
What is the greater tubercle? Is that something?
I don't know.
Okay.
You had said it. That's why I didn't know if you meant that or if you meant trochanter.
Oh, I said,
yeah, or look up at the beginning of that. Yeah,
well,
just
the
making
greater
sure.
tubercle will be up there. The intertubercular. There's the lesser and greater tubercle on the arm, but no, I meant the greater.
Yeah, that's good. I was making sure.
Okay.
So
that cleared it for me.
Good. So those will be the deep 6 muscles, or as I said, you can also know them as the lateral rotators of the hip, which means these deep muscles that are inside. And like most of the muscles around the hip area, they do attach the greater trochanter, which is also true for the 2 smaller gluteal muscles, because the gluteus medius and minimus are also attached. They insert into the greater tubercle.
Yeah, not maximus.
Trochanter. There it goes again. So yeah, maximus is the only one that does not attach to the greater trochanter. Because the gluteus maximus inserts into the gluteal tuberosity, and then one portion, it has kind of 2 types of fibers. So the lower fibers, the deeper fibers, they attach at the gluteal tuberosity, and then the more superficial fibers, they blend together with the IT band. So it kind of has 2 portions that will attach in here, and then more on the side, which does actually different things for the body, because whatever is attached to the part that is attached to the IT band, that one will help with the abduction of the leg, while the part that is attached to the tuberosity, the gluteal tuberosity, that one will actually help with the adduction. So the gluteus maximus does basically both. It does the adduction and abduction of the hip, and then it does extension, and it does lateral rotation. It does a lot of things again.
Is gluteus maximus one of the only ones that does abducting and abduction? Particularly? Or?
On the hip, yes. I'm thinking about gluteus medius does the abduction, but I don't think that one does adduction because it's right in here. So I don't think that one would go for adduction. I can double check because I don't know.